is on the economy table. Very lucky that the people who chose to join it were so clear-thinking and able. But I'm not sure we came up with ways to solve the economy in 3 easy steps. But we covered some interesting areas and had some sensible thoughts about it. The first was looking at the information we were given. I think our sense was the information, which was pretty uninformative, told us that things were kind of okay. Not too many people unemployed, not much public benefits. Things looked fine, but we thought it was probably an unstable economy locally, and that there was information that was important to have before you could start to develop a new strategy for the economy. And the information would include things like a skills audit. The question about having a skills audit is what skills are employers looking for locally that they can't find, and so they employ people from elsewhere. And the flip side of that is what skills are being created here which are not being used locally. So in the context, for instance, of the schools, where do the kids go after they've qualified? What sort of courses do they do? Is the education that goes into the economy locally then contributing in the long term to the economy? And that information is hidden below the information we've been given. The other danger in the information was that full employment, we assumed, was not a static state. The balance of employment in Malmesbury, we think, is under attack, probably from international, national and regional movements, so that our view was that unless a strategy was developed for the economy to address some of the issues, then this would no longer be, in 5-10 years' time, a full employment area. That seemed to us to be the challenge. 2 points that were initiated by the Wiltshire Council broadband scheme, which is intended to have superfast broadband to 95%. I'm looking at John so he can keep on confirming. 95% of the county. And so there are consequences for that. One is that if it's coming in 2013-14, for instance, were it to come to the area, then the opportunity is utterly transformed for the way in which people work, and what's more, to competitively attract businesses to the area because of the facilities being provided. If we don't plan for that, then the broadband will arrive, it'll be squandered, the investment will be squandered. And our sense was that you don't grow an economy like this by having 3 bakers rather than 2 bakers in the high street. You grow it by having businesses which are adding considerable value. So it's high quality businesses that add value, bring prosperity to the area. So we need to plan for this new facility of superfast broadband to attract businesses which are high added value. And it could be that means creating clusters of like-minded businesses, which brings you partly back to the skills issue. If you had uniquely high quality skills in an area here, we know from experience in Ashton Keynes and elsewhere that clusters naturally develop, and that creates prosperity. The second broadband issue was that we're aware that there is quite a lot of home working in the area. Some has to do with the age profile, semi-retired, people in their 50s and 60s. Home working will be supported by the provision of superfast broadband. But there are still a number of structural obstacles to it, and threats. So you are slightly under threat in terms of the planning laws. You are slightly under threat if you're home working in terms of taxes and rates, capital gains tax and local rates. And we would like to have those obstacles lifted. And the reverse happened, actually, that the structure would encourage home working. It would facilitate it, and there would be no threats. The commuting in and out, we covered a bit. And I think our view about that was ambivalent. in the sense that we know that people commute out a lot to high-value jobs, but then they live here, so they're part of the economy. We know that people commute in from outside to work in the area, for example, in the school, and certainly at Dyson. So while they're here, they're part of the economy, even if they don't live here. So we didn't think that that was something which was threatening to the economy one way or the other. So there's no witch hunt there. Last point is tourism, which was addressed by the second group. I think our sense was that this was an industry that was important to an area like Malmesbury, and was particularly important to Malmesbury, but it was underutilised. Warren mentioned that there were 65,000 visitors to Malmesbury, and after we oohed and ahed a bit, we realised probably that wasn't enough. The conclusion was that Tetbury managed themselves as a destination better, and that has significantly changed the nature of their economy. So what the area needs is destination management for tourism, and as a consequence, and probably as a consequence rather than before, it needs training in customer service and tourism. Thank you.